Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being with the Tarot Tips. I received a very interesting email from somebody asking me to address some ethics questions, some things that have to do with tarot from the reader's perspective. I'm going to read it directly from the email just to make some of the points here about which the person is asking. I think this is something that's really important if you're going to read for other people, and it's also important as you read for yourself to remember that the power is in your hands. It's not in these paper cards that are in your on your table. It's about your reaction to the images, your relationship to your unconscious, all of that. So let me read from the email. Let's see. I put together some situations where as a reader you might run into trouble. These scenarios are hypothetical and extreme, but if something even close to them happens, wouldn't there be a problem? Question number 1. A sick querent comes to you for advice about their health. The cards that you come up with are 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and the Death card. What do you do? The first thing as a reader to keep in mind is that you can refuse conversations about any subject that you want. Health is a tricky one. Some readers won't even go there. You have every right as the reader to say, I don't address those issues. I don't work with those issues. I really think that that's something between you and your healthcare provider. It can be problematic. It can also be very helpful. So if you do decide that you want to and are willing to and open to reading issues around health, then you have to remember to always leave the options and the power in the hands of the querent. So with 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and the Death card, I might ask questions such as, I would wonder about the level of support that this person has. With the 5 of Pentacles, they might feel like they've already lost the game, that they're already separated from life, that they've already disconnected from people and their regular activities. So I would, see if they have a support network of friends and family around them. 5 of Pentacles, that disconnect sort of feeling. 10 of Swords and the Death card. I would directly ask the person, is pretty much this, the handwriting is on the wall kind of an issue? Is it a done deal? Have you run out of your options? If the answer is yes, I would ask if they have come to terms with that 10 of Swords, that, okay, I get it, I have to resign myself to certain realities. But also with 10 of Swords and the Death card, both of those are closure and ending cards. So I might also ask this person if there are things even at this point that they can change about their life, that they need to bring closure to, that they need to let go of. Are there certain things that they've been hanging on to that they really need to let shift? So, with health issues, you have to be compassionate, you have to be honest, but you also have to be tactful and remember that you don't really know. The cards might give you some information, but that's the information, the difference, as we pointed out in a previous video, the difference between information and meaning. Your job is to talk about the information on the card. Question 2. The querent is waiting to hear about a job they interviewed for. Since their lease is up, they are asking for your advice whether to pack up, renew the lease, or go to a hotel. They say their decision will be based on the cards you pull. What do you do? The first thing I do is tell them to never make a big life decision based on a tarot reading. That's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is to remind them or to make the point that I will not be pulling cards. They will be pulling cards around this. That puts the responsibility in their hands. This question just sounds like somebody who wants somebody else to make that decision for them. So I would be really clear that that's not what I'm going to do. But we can look at the options. So I might suggest that we pull a couple cards for what does it look like if I renew my lease? What does it look like if I pack up? What does it look like if I go to a hotel? And then I might pull a guiding card. What can help me make the best decision for myself in this situation? So they're pulling the cards. The options are up to them. Look at the energy around each choice. You might pull a couple cards for, what about something I haven't thought of yet? Option number 4 here, and see what you can come up with there. That's pretty tricky, because they're trying to get you to tell them what they should do. Avoid that at all cost. Question 3. The querent is asking whether their significant other is cheating on them. Really common question. You pull the 7 of Swords. Well, let's say they pulled it. What do you say? I would say to them that they don't have the whole story. I don't know if their significant other is cheating, but the 7 of Swords does say that somebody is holding something away from you, that somebody is keeping some sort of communication from you. So I would be suspicious about that. And I would ask the person, well, how much do you feel like you want a direct answer on this? 7 of Swords, my quick response to that is, well, you don't know the whole picture. All the information has not been shown to you. So question number 4, the querent comes from question 3, comes back and tells you that after confronting their significant other, they learned that the secret was a second job to save money for a vacation. Your response? Great. First of all, your 7 of Swords said, okay, you don't know the whole story. That person decided, well, I do want the whole story. They confronted their significant other. They cleared the air. Questions and problems were solved. I say great. But that drives home the point about there's a difference between information and meaning. The 7 of Swords says not all is known. The person who assumes that means somebody is cheating is taking great liberties with that space between information and meaning. So be careful of that. Okay, the last one. 3 different decks, 3 different tarot decks, same question but 3 different answers. What do you do? I would look at where's the common thread. Because a lot of times we ask a question. If we're dealing with one tarot deck, we're getting the best we can from that set of images. In some ways, I like the idea about asking the same question to 3 different tarot decks and see what you get. I would write those things down. I would write down the question. I would make note of the deck and the cards that I got in my interpretation of them. And then I would look at, okay, where's the consistent theme? What is in common here? Or I might also say, okay, how are all of these things one different viewpoint on the same issue? It's like taking a picture from 3 different angles. So I don't think that's a bad thing to do, and I think sometimes if we're really confused about something, that's actually a good method. Ask a question, pull cards in the same way from a couple of different decks and see what you get. So I love these questions about ethics because it brings a whole lot of other stuff to the surface. About why we do tarot, about what's important about it, about how maybe tarot is not best used. It's not best used to tell other people what to do. And it's not best used as a means of skirting our responsibilities for our decisions and our actions. Help it inform our decisions and actions. Help us to be empowered by that, yes. But to sort of throw up our hands and say, well, the cards told me I should move, so I guess I'm moving. Bad idea. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So thanks for the question and we'll see you next time.